Alright, so we finally got this stupid thing to work. So, 94 Land Cruiser, center diff lock. Alright, so under the Land Cruiser here, this is looking backwards, that's the rear axle. Right here, get my hand up there, the one pointing right there. That is the sensor that senses when the center diff lock is active and is already activated. There's another one on the back, just a little bit further back behind the transfer case, back on the transfer case. That is the low range selector, so it knows when you put the truck in the low range to automatically lock the center diff. So my problem was, for one, this entire sensor was super corroded, and then the wire that clips into this was also pretty corroded and had some junk on it. So my little trick is I held this little tiny Tupperware full of vinegar and a little bit of salt to help get some of that corrosion off. And then what I finished it off with, after letting that soak for a couple minutes and brushing it with a toothbrush, was some of this electronic cleaner. So I cleaned it off with that to kind of balance it out, the pH and all that, and plugged it back in, tested it with a paper clip, or part of a paper clip that I snipped in half. You can see here, a paper clip part, and I got the center diff lock light to come on, so I knew we were looking good. And so that sensor right up there, let's see if I can touch it, this one, ended up cleaning it up, and that is a new sensor. The old one I couldn't get continuity out of when you push the button down. I can show you that one here in a second. So here is the old sensor. You might be able to see a little bit of corrosion in there. If I can get this camera to focus, there we go. So a little bit corroded still. And when you push it in like this, the little ball and plunger, that should be a short, and that should be an open. And this one was always an open, so went ahead and replaced this because this seemed to not be working at all. So, just my quick fix for the Toyota Land Cruiser. Alright, so we finally got this stupid thing to work. So, 94 Land Cruiser, center diff lock. So that's pressing the center diff lock button. Or by moving the transfer case from high down to low, and it automatically switches on. Back to high, back to low, back to high, back to low. Engage the center diff lock. Just a minute, buddy. Back to high, center diff lock off. Works perfectly. So hope that can help you. Replace this little tiny guy. I'll put the part number that Toyota calls for this one, and then an identical part number that is a reverse switch, but technically it's the same exact thing. That's a heck of a lot cheaper. So I'll post those up with Toyota part numbers so you can buy them yourself if you ended up needing them. That's it. Have a good one.